Welcome back to the Indigo Room. I'm Sydney Chase, and if you're new to the channel, thank you for stopping through, and if you're a subscriber, thanks for coming back. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today I want to talk to you about sage, Palo Santo wood, and why smudging is really, really a good thing for you to do. So I've had a couple of questions from some of my subscribers about why I sage or why I burn sage and Palo Santo wood every episode, or pretty much every episode right before, we start the show. And so I'm going to talk to you about that today. Palo Santo wood and sage is very sacred. Maybe some of you know already that I'm a shaman and that I'm a healer. And we use that in our practice to clear the negative energy. So if you got some wicky wacky energy going on in your space, in yourself even, sage helps to remove that. Now, sage is basically used by Native Americans in the United States. And it started, I don't even know when, but it started a long time ago. And a lot of other people have picked it up as well. Shamans also burn sage and use Palo Santo wood to clear the negative energy in the area, or in the space, or in the person that they're healing. They just want to remove all of that and just get it out of the way. So I like to burn sage before I do every episode because, sometimes I got wicky wacky going on. I know y'all can't feel the smoke and you can't smell it, but it clears the air. It clears the air for all of us to be able to understand, comprehend, without any negative emotion and energy going on, especially me. If I'm the person that's giving you the information, I want my mind to be clear. So I sage the house, I sage myself, and I use the Palo Santo wood as well. And that Palo Santo wood comes from a sacred tree in South America. Yeah. And this is what it looks like. If you haven't seen it already, it starts out like that pretty much. You can pick this up from, some sacred shops that sell crystals, or healing shops, or spiritual shops. You can pick this up at some of those shops. A lot of people like to use a feather when they are saging or smudging. And there's a prayer that you can say. There's several different prayers that Native Americans use as they're smudging the space, and they're clearing the energy. So we're going to talk about a couple of different things that are necessary when you are saging yourself, or saging the energy in an area or in a room that you're getting ready to use. I like to sage, I like to smudge when somebody shows up to my house unexpectedly and they bring a wicky wacky energy with them. Sometimes you don't know where people have been. You don't know what they got going on. And you may have people who come into your home to do work. Like last week, I had somebody come in to fix the electricity in my apartment. So I had 3 different people in here that I don't know. All right. My super and 2 electrical people. I guess that's what you call them. Electricians. That's what you call them. I had 2 electricians that came in. And I don't know them. They seem very nice, but I like to keep my energy and my space clear. So I had to sage the whole area. This is pretty, kind of a large living room. So that's where they were working. And then they went into the back. I had a sage back there. Sometimes I sage Cleopatra, because sometimes she's wicky wacky and she likes the smoke. So a couple of things that you want to make sure that you do when you're saging. If you've never saged before, if you never smudged before, do these things. So a couple of points. You do want to make sure that your windows are open. I don't want to show you the window because then I'll blind you from the sun, but you can see the sun coming in over here. But you want to make sure that your windows are open, that you have some good ventilation. Even in the wintertime, crack that window open. You know why? Not only does it let the smoke go out so you don't choke to death, But it also gives an escape route for the negative energies to leave. So you want to make sure that your windows are open. I like to move around and get in all the nooks and crannies of my space. So I will start from the bottom and then work my way up to the top. And the smoke will go up. So you don't have to worry about, I'm tall. So you don't have to worry about if you're not getting all the way up to the ceiling, all the way up to the nooks and crannies. But the smoke will go up. And I like to push it up, push the smoke up, wave it. Some people like to use a feather to wave the energy and wave the smoke around the house. I also use a fan. I got a new fan now. This is, my sister bought this for me. It comes from straight from Africa. I can't remember which country. So it's handmade. It's beautiful, isn't it? Gorgeous, I know. So thank you, Susan. Anyway, I like to make sure that I get in all the nooks and crannies. I go in the closets. I smoke the closets. I open up the cabinets. I smoke the cabinets, especially down low. The cabinets down underneath the sink, in the bathroom, in the kitchen. I also smoke Cleopatra. She loves it. She don't get smoked every day, but she does love it. I do smoke myself. I smudge myself pretty much on a regular basis, maybe 2 or 3 times a week. Sometimes, depending on what I got going on, if I got a lot of wicky-wacky going on, it'll be every day. I'll wake up, take my shower, smoke myself, smudge myself. And I like to start from my feet and work my way up. Just like when you're doing a meditation with your chakras and you start from your first chakra and you go all the way up, I like to start from my feet and go all the way up to the top of my head. Make sure I get across my back, across my heart center, my arms, and my third eye. So how do you light the sage? So I have some sage here, and it's white sage that you want to use. And I have this container. This is my smudging container. This is what I use. It's fireproof. A friend of mine made it for me and gave it to my birthday. And initially I thought it was ugly, but I love it now. It's become sacred. It's become sacred. I know I was not very nice. I was not very nice when she gave it to me, but now I love it. I love it. I love it. And you want to make sure that you have a nice pot that is fireproof. You don't want to burn sage on a plastic, plastic plate. And you want to make sure that, again, you have the windows open and that your area is ventilated. And you can see that I've already used this. I've already started this one. And this is my new stick, my new piece of wood. And you just light it. Now, you can light it with a lighter. Or when I'm home by myself, I like to light it with a white candle because it's just relaxing. I don't know. White candles are a little bit more pure to me, and it has, no butane. So I light the candle with the lighter, and then I light my sage with the candle. It's a beautiful candle holder. It's got dolphins all around it. It's one of my faves. And you just light it. You want to make sure that when you are lighting your sage, because sometimes little flakes fall off, that's why you have the fireproof container, because little flakes fall off. And you don't want to set yourself on fire, because that's not fun. So I'm going to let that start to burn a little bit. I'm going to put the pot down. Now, one thing about sage is that it does smoke, but it can go out very quickly once you light it, if you don't blow on it a little bit to get it really going. See? So I'm going to let that sit for a minute while I light the wood. Now the Palo Santo wood, as I said, comes from South America, and it comes from a sacred tree. If you've never burned Palo Santo wood, or if you never smelled it, it is divine. It is heavenly. This also clears negative energy, especially when you're getting ready to heal someone and doing some healing work. And you want to clear the space, clear the energy, clear the person, and you can say a prayer. I like to say thank you. Thank you, Mighty Spirit. Thank you, God, for clearing this energy, for clearing this space, of removing all of the negative energy that's in this space. Thank you. And I just keep saying thank you for removing all of the negative energy in this space. Energy, only love here. Negative energy be gone. That's what I say. You can say whatever you want. You can say a prayer. You can say the Lord's Prayer. You can say the Native American prayer. There are several. You can look them up online, look them up on Google. Say those as you move through the spaces in your home. And as you move through, you're smoking the area, moving the energy, moving it out, moving it up to the window with your fan, with your hand. If you don't have a fan, you can do it with your hand. Or you can do it with your feather. And I like to walk around each space in my house with my container and just smoke the place. Smoke it out. I start from the bottom and I work my way up. And I usually have a fan or a feather, or I'm using my hand, but right now I'm, using both my hands to hold the camera as well as the sage. So I can't do two things at the same time, but you get the idea. And then I say my prayer as I'm moving around the house. Thank you, God, for removing all the negative energy, clearing this space. Negative energy, be gone. Be gone. Wicky wacky energy, we don't want you here. And then I say, thank you very much. Get out. Get out. Goodbye. I also use the Palo Santo wood to clear, and sage to clear the negative energy from my money, the paper money that I have, and some change. Change too. Change is money. Money passes through so many different hands per day, and there's negative energy on it. So I like to clear that up too. So there's different ways that you can use your sage. You can use your sage and your Palo Santo wood to clear your crystals. And from my crystals, just happen to have a crystal in my pocket. As I told you before, my kids used to hate it. I gotta relight this sage. My kids used to hate when I burned sage. Now, I think they're burning their own. See how it smokes and how often it goes out. So when you're done, you can just turn it over in your container and it'll go out on its own. I don't put mine out. I love the smell. I love the way it smells, and I like to let it burn until it's done. And usually it just goes out on its own. So I start, like I said, from my feet. Here, Cleopatra. Here's some sage. I start from my feet and then I work my way up. And just sage yourself. Oh, it's heavenly, it's divine, and it feels so good afterwards. I usually like to do it after I get out of the shower, but you can do it anytime that you like, whenever you want. Some sage that I use right now, I get from a company called JL Local, and they even send you a nice little bracelet, which is really cool. It has all the colors of the chakra as well. I love them. I'm not an affiliate with them. I don't belong to them. I just use their product. They don't pay me. JL Local It's natural white sage, and you want to make sure that you have white sage, because white sage, not the sage that is grown that you use to cook with. That's a totally different type of sage. You want to get white sage because it drives out all the negative thought energies, all of the wicky-wacky, all of the wicky-wacky influences, and it just disperses it and it cleanses the atmosphere. It cleanses the space. It cleanses you. So you want to get white sage only. Be mindful that some people are allergic to sage. You know, so if you're burning sage and somebody's having a reaction, be mindful of that. And, you know, don't burn it around them. Get some sage oil. That works too. Don't want to leave your sage unattended. Make sure you don't do that. You know, if this is the first time you're burning sage and you don't have any idea, I don't want you to burn your house down. Use the sage to cleanse your space, cleanse your energy. And this is the reason why I burn sage before every episode of the Indigo Room, to just cleanse the space. I also like to get my Palo Santo wood from a company called Juniper Mist. These sticks last a long time. You get 6 sticks in a bundle, as well as a little piece of sage. So if you want to try it out and you haven't, used sage before, you don't know where to get sage, or there's no sage in your area or town, you can pick this up. I put the links down in the description below. I don't get paid from them either. I just like their product. So if you're looking for sage, just sage, you can get it from JL Local. Get a little bracelet along with it. And if you're looking for the Palo Santo wood, you can use this and they give you another little bundle, not that big, a little sage bundle to try out. If you're new to the channel and you'd like some tips and tools on how to raise your vibration and manifest and create the reality that you want to have, you can hit that video right there. If you've never heard of Neville Guarded and you're interested in how to create with your imagination, you can hit that link right there. And if you're interested in how to use your I am power, hit that link right there. And if you are new to the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, you can hit that button right there. And welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a great day.